Here we are. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zolo. It is Week 15. Good news. Fantasy football championships are around the corner. Bad news. The football season's about to end. Specifically, the fantasy football season. We still have at least, what are we now, about a month and a half of football left in us. But for fantasy football, we're wrapping things up next week. And if your league championship is in Week 17, leave that league and find a good one. Joining me, as always, Joshua Hudson and Mr. Ryan Weiss. And for the first time on the show, someone who is huge in the fantasy football community, Mr. Robbie from Rumboyz. How are you, man?
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm doing well. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, fellas. Club Fantasy. What it do? I'm excited.
Yeah, he's got beer. I have water in a flower cup. Let's go.
I was totally expecting rum from you, Robbie. I'm not even going to lie.
I would not be able to make it onto my next booking if I started now.
Oh, I see how it is. You got to save the good stuff for your show, right?
My God. I wouldn't say it like that. But,
It is funny because I do want to bring this up that Faith points out. I don't know why every show I just have this cup. I rotate cups. This one always ends up on the show, and it's the one with the flower. So I think I just have to keep it there for now at this point.
There you go. All right, get you a Club Fantasy cup, man.
We're working on it, man.
We need to start branding.
Yeah, if we had any resemblance,
we're trying to get 100 subscribers on YouTube first, and then we can start moving up here.
Hey, yes. I put the word out there, gents.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yes, we appreciate that.
Yes,
also, if you're watching, go subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already. Good plug there, Josh and Robbie. All right, let's start off with the quick news and quick thoughts before we dive into anything here. And of course, guys, we always encourage questions in the chat. We will always answer every last one of them. It may take us 20 minutes to get to your question, but please ask it. I promise you we will get to it. All right, Gardner Minshew, the GOAT, finally back at quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. About damn time. Like, why the hell was Mike Glennon playing ahead of him when Minshew was healthy?
My mustache was so lonely.
Man, not even just with that. I mean, you have to be pissed off if you're the marketing guy at Bud Light that was like, I know exactly who we can get to endorse our beer this year. And then that just fell, like, just bad.
You also have to be pissed off if you played into Bud Light's game and then your co-host knocked you out of the playoffs like a
That's all right. I got a chance this week to knock you out in another Dynasty League.
See, Ryan, you could have been like me and just not made the playoffs.
There you go.
That's the real.
Would have made life much easier.
5-head move. Can't lose in the playoffs if you don't make it. That's the Cleveland Browns strategy of the 2000s. Henry Ruggs is out for tomorrow night's game against the Chargers. COVID IR, so doesn't have an injury. He's just on the COVID IR list. Vegas also down Jonathan Abram and Cleveland Farrell, so Herbert's going to have plenty of time in that pocket. Ronald Jones also placed on the COVID IR, also dealing with a broken finger that he just had surgery on, so he most likely is not going to see the field on Sunday against Atlanta.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours for Ronald Jones.
Yeah. Marquise Brown coming off a fresh touchdown performance against the Cleveland Browns after Lamar Jackson wiped his asshole of all the shit that dropped out of it. Miles Boykin.
That was so damn funny.
So Hollywood Brown, Miles Boykin, and James Prochet.
He's not Hollywood. He's Marquise. Get it right.
Marquise, correct. Sorry. Marquise Bollywood Brown.
Oh, my gosh.
The haters.
Miles Boykin and James Prochet on the COVID IR list. They're all most likely out on Sunday. This hurt because I saw the first two names. I'm like, James Prochet is going to get his chance. And he can't. Oh, dagger. I want James Prochet in there so badly. The most likely starting receivers for Baltimore would be Willie Snead and Devin Duvernay.
Now, did Snead come off of the COVID IR last week? I didn't catch that.
He played last week.
He played last week.
I just missed it then. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Drew Brees has been designated to return from IR, as have George Kittle, who, if you have him, congratulations, and Greg Olsen. None of you have him, so it doesn't matter. And two Saturday games this week, Buffalo in Denver, Carolina in Green Bay, two very invigorating matchups between two playoff contenders. Not really. These games should be absolute blowouts. So, but we do have Saturday football. Very excited about that.
And there's big fantasy stuff going on in those games. So.
Yes, huge fantasy implication in those games. Buffalo, you're talking Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Denver, Noah Fant. If you want to throw Tim Patrick in there, you can add him in there. Carolina, looking at Robbie Anderson, Mike
Drew
Davis.
Lock was legit last week.
I appreciate the friendly reminder that I get to work this Saturday now.
Aww.
Thank you, NFL.
Same, dude. Same.
Thank you, NFL. Fuck.
And then Green Bay, Devontae Adams is gonna, have 200 yards again. Just another week.
Adams,
Yeah, another week.
Yeah.
Happy about it. All right. Quickly, let us answer our good buddy Dave's question, as he always comes in with a question every week. All right. He's in the semis in Robbie's Analyst League. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Things did not go well for Ryan in that league. I was.
Hey, things did not go well for me in that league either.
Well, I literally was in last place every week until the last week and managed to climb out of the cellar.
Love it.
Silver lining, Ryan. We like
There you
it.
go. Exactly.
Love it. All right. So Dave's asking Zeke, Chris Carson, Michael Pittman, or Jerry Jeudy. And then on the tight end side, Rob Gronkowski or Mike Gesicki if he plays. We'll start with the tight ends because that's easier. There's only two names, right?
And you're going to go Gesicki if he plays, I feel.
Okay. Ryan?
Ooh, I actually like Gronk this week, but I mean, if Gesicki plays, you can't not play him. Like with what he's been doing, you have to.
Josh?
I'm on Gronk this week. Atlanta, I believe they've allowed 9 touchdowns to tight ends this year, and Gronk has 5, tied for 10th at the position. And really, that's what you're looking for from your tight end. You need them to score touchdowns. The only tight end last week that scored a touchdown that did not score 10 fantasy points was Gronk.
Yeah.
So give me the guy that's going to score the touchdowns for at least that chance to be, a 10-plus point tight end. That's what you want. So give me Gronk. Gesicki, New England shuts down tight end.
I don't expect him to play.
Yeah, and that's the other play too. I don't think Gesicki's going to play. So.
Yeah, that's why it's super conditional. Like if he plays, if he doesn't, then awesome. You already know what to do.
Yeah,
there you go.
Right.
Decision's made for you. So.
Yeah.
So then from the rest of these guys, Zeke, Chris Carson, Michael Pittman, or Jerry Jeudy, got to pick one. Ryan, I'll start with you.
Oh, I think we're picking
2 separate questions.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's start with the running backs and then go to the receivers. Ryan?
I still don't trust Zeke, and Tony Pollard just keeps looking good every time he touches the ball. So give me Chris Carson.
That Washington football team defense is so stout. And Zeke, if you cannot do it against Cincinnati this week, then just throw it away. Just gosh.
Well, Zeke was at Cincy last week.
He's got San
Francisco
he's got San Francisco. Both good run defenses, but I'm just that's right. It's 49ers this week, but I'm still worried about. I'm more worried about Washington than I am San Fran.
For those who don't know, and for my co-host, Robbie is a huge Washington fan. So
a little biased, clearly.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
I would go Carson just from the receiving game aspect, because if they can't run the ball, they're going to throw it to him. So I'll take that. I trust his ability to get into the end zone more right now than I do Zeke's.
All right, Dave, here's my answer. I'm benching Zeke in one of my leagues in the playoffs, and I have Chris Carson as a downside. So option C, I don't know what that is for you.
Jeff Wilson Jr.
Jeff Wilson Jr.
Right.
I also am sitting Zeke in a couple playoff matchups.
I'm going to say Zeke because San Francisco's defense is not as good as Washington's defense. And I don't know. It's a big historic rivalry game. Maybe Zeke rips one. Who knows? Let's assume he rips one. I would think,
My favorite
it's a division matchup as well. I'm sorry, not a division matchup. I was thinking both Cowboys and Washington football team.
But I love that
it's a rivalry matchup.
The classic Cowboys 49ers game got flexed out of primetime for Browns and Giants.
Right?
Gotta love it.
You mean?
And they may not even have Daniel Jones this week.
Yep.
The elite Colt McCoy.
Revenge game Colt McCoy.
Revenge game.
Dude, how many revenge games have we seen fall flat on their face this year?
The narrative
Good
is trash this year.
That narrative has been crushed and wiped the floor with this year.
It's been bad.
Jesus.
So, Dave, flip a coin there. And then Michael Pittman, Jerry Jeudy. I'll start Michael Pittman.
Pittman.
Yeah, Pittman.
Pittman's been down, but I'd go Pittman.
Yeah.
What
T.Y.
corners do the Texans have?
Yeah.
I mean, T.Y. Hilton's going to, go for 150 and 2 touchdowns.
Robbie, I loved your note on that. What DBs, bro?
Robbie has the best show notes. No offense to any other guest. Robbie has the best show notes of any guest we've ever had.
And he adds in the emojis, too.
That's the best part. I think he's the first one to add emojis. It's
Well,
great.
he said he was doing it on his phone, so that's perfect.
Killed it.
Yeah, Pittman in that matchup. Hilton's gonna kill me in one of my semis because I'm going up against him, and Hilton will have his, but Pittman's gonna get his share as well.
He's still
more
seeing
so
the
than
targets.
Jerry
I mean, they haven't connected as much as they have lately, but he's still seeing targets, and I'm always going to trust that over everything.
Correct.
100%.
Yep. All right, before we get into some of these other questions, want to run through quickly our 3 ups and 3 downs here. All right, so for Robbie, he had Cam Akers, Nelson Aguilar, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling as his 3 ups. Big game from the rookie out of Florida State. New England played with their eyes closed, apparently, on Thursday Night Football. Ryan, you have the tandem of Baker Mayfield and Mr. Poopy Pants.
Yep.
And Jonathan Taylor, except you had an expletive for his middle name.
Yeah, that is his middle name now.
It's
Jonathan
Taylor.
That is co-signed by John Helmkamp.
Hey, that is me every time in the middle of play-by-play. Like, so I get it.
Yep.
It's about damn time.
I said he's paying back all of our tears for all of these weeks, and it could not have happened at a better time.
And we all talked about his great playoff matchup, and the question was, is he going to be able to take advantage of it? The answer, emphatically, yes.
I benched Calvin Ridley for Jonathan Taylor, so I was very happy with that outcome. Oh, yeah, the balls of steel on me. I mean, not like Ridley had a bad week or anything. Like, either way, I was going to win my matchup, but still. Josh, you had the tandem of Hunt and Chubb, RB4 and RB7, respectively, this week. KJ Hamler, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. Gotta love it. And Mike Gesicki, he was essentially the only target and threat for Miami once Devontae Parker left the field.
What a game for fantasy tight ends. Like, that was a fun one for fantasy.
Yeah, they were 1 and 2 last week.
Yep.
Shout out Miami for covering. Big time.
Miami.
Thanks for the money. Myself, I had Mitchell Trubisky. The one time he plays well is just to prove he was better than Deshaun Watson and should have been chosen over Deshaun Watson in the draft. So look for Mitchell Trubisky to regress back to the 7th round pick he should have been.
Shh.
Because that's not foreshadowing or anything.
Yeah, not foreshadowing. Gardner Minshew. He's the starter again, ladies and gentlemen.
He's the man.
Football's
Didn't
fun.
play well, but
Minshew mania.
Let's go. And I have the Washington football team. I have been trying to tell you, and we have been trying to tell you, since the offseason, this front 7 is legit.
Chase Young is transforming this defense the exact same way that Nick Bosa transformed the 49ers last year.
Exactly.
All those first-round talents, finally, they've basically created Voltron. That's what they've done.
Yeah.
It's to the point.
State. Yeah.
It's to the point where Ryan Kerrigan doesn't even need to be on the field. Like, like that's unbelievable. So
and he's basically become a pass rush specialist at this point in his career.
And I mean, he's over
and he's still
30.
doing it well.
Yeah, he's over 30, so he shouldn't be on the field.
What I love about it
every
is
day.
I know Robbie's been talking about it because did Robbie show a few times over the summer. We talked about it, and every one of us, if we were on somebody else's show, got ridiculed for trying to tell people Washington had a legit defense. And man, do we look really smart.
We look really good.
I still think their secondary is suspect at best.
Yeah,
although
again, a good pass rush negates.
Exactly. That kid Cameron Curl, though, filling in for Landon Collins. He looks good.
Curl is nice, and Fuller coming back, dressing up in the burgundy and gold. That's been reminiscent of how we were when we had Alex Smith healthy a couple years ago. So super excited about what the football team is doing.
But Ronald Darby still sucks.
Yeah, Darby is still the most suspect corner ever. I could burn him at 30 years old. So
could you imagine being the Washington football team looking at the Philadelphia Eagles, whom they played twice a year, and saying, yeah, I want Ronald Darby on my team? Could you imagine?
I know you play against Ronald Darby twice a year for the last
Twice.
I don't know however many years.
You knew.
And you're like, oh yeah, let's give him a free agent contract. Like seriously, come on.
You've played him 6 times in the last 3 seasons, and you said, "Oh yeah, that guy."
And we had all the money in the world to bring over Darius Slay. We had all the money in the world to get Darius Slay. I was so mad. I was like, we're not going to get a wide receiver 2 to complement McLaurin.
Let's
okay. Go get the corner.
That's okay. You guys going against Seattle this week. Slay would have just got toasted by Metcalf anyway. So
yeah, this is very true.
That's a fact. All right, to the downside. Speaking of the F1, Mr. Terry McLaurin, another sad week in fantasy football. But again,
2 weeks back to back, yeah.
He almost cost me my playoff matchup. Almost.
These are his only 2 weeks where he is not finished as a startable receiver.
Yep.
So don't worry.
Do not worry.
It's coming at a terrible time, but don't worry. Julio Jones, he's been on my shit list for years now.
Same.
I thought he got off of it last year, though. He was pretty consistent last year.
That's how he ended up on 2 of my dynasty teams. I'm in the semifinals in, and I'm like, bruh. So yeah, Julio, you're back on the shit list.
I say he's just untrustable.
Yeah. Julio is arguably my favorite NFL receiver, and I think when he's healthy, he's the best receiver on the field. I really don't think there's a lot of competition. D-Hop is there, but I would put Julio against DeAndre Hopkins any day of the week. And then Corey Davis, you say you get he's boom or bust, but he has the talent, so just use it.
Exactly. One of the things that frustrates me with Corey Davis is the year that you finally start budding and you come into your own, which happens a lot with third-year receivers, is the same year that you're getting overshadowed by AJ Brown. You have good games, and he is a guy that depending on how you're feeling, you could throw into your flex. I have done it a couple of weeks. It has worked out, has panned out for me. Just please come into your own.
Yeah. I've started Corey Davis 3 times this year in my Dynasty League. Once was the 0 game. Once was 2 weeks ago when he was the wide receiver 1.
Yep.
And then last week when he sucked. I'm like, I can't freaking hit with this guy. It's so annoying.
I've hit more times than not with him this season, so I've been on the fortunate side there, and that's where my frustration is coming in. Is where, what about the times that you're not? So
yeah.
I think he's only had 2 weeks this year where, outside of injury, where he's missed the games that he's been under 10 fantasy points.
Exactly. Yeah, he has a stable floor. Just get better.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Ryan, you have for your 3 downs Devontae Parker, who left the game due to injury, but still didn't do anything.
Yeah, and he was. I didn't catch exactly when he left the game, but 0 for 2 is not what you should ever see out of it. It should be he should have been hurt before he ever saw a target, or he should have caught both those damn balls.
Yeah.
Facts.
Matt Ryan is on that list as well, and Josh Jacobs. You say more for the troll than the performance.
Yeah,
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
You're an ass.
I am an ass. Everyone knows I'm an ass.
Do you know how many leagues I have Josh Jacobs in? And so I literally, the first thing I saw was not the official tweet with the laughing faces. All I got was like the sleeper update that says Josh Jacobs instas that he's not going to play this week. So I'm like, shit. So I'm like running through 5 rosters. Literally, now I understand he's hurt and might not come back, but cut Antonio Gibson in the league to get a replacement. And then I get on Twitter and find out that he's trolling. And I'm like, okay, if Gibson comes back, I'm going to be livid. Now, thankfully, I got Gibson back in waivers.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world. But if Gibson were to have come back this week and I wouldn't have gotten him, I might have had some words for Josh Jacobs. Right now, just get me to the finals. That's all I ask. That's all you need to do to apologize.
Bro, I got the Instagram story. So because I for some reasons, for certain players that I've interviewed, I still have their notifications set. For like whenever we were all running around LA and shit together. And his is one of the ones that's still set. So I like check and I'm like, and everyone while I'm live on air, they're like, Josh Jacobs just posted on his Instagram story. I'm like, let me check, hit the notification on my phone really quick. And I'm like, what? Like, are you serious? Did I find out that he's trolling? And bro, I was so mad. I was so heated. I've never regretted interviewing someone so bad in my life, so bad. I was like, I used to think he was a nice person. I cheered for you and you hurt my feelings.
This is how you repay me.
I had you on my show, damn it.
One league I had Josh Jacobson at a first round bye, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Oh,
same.
Good for you.
Thanks, man. Josh, you also have Josh Jacobs as a downside for the same reason.
Bush League, man. Bush League.
You also have Jordan Reed saying revenge games are no longer a thing.
Yeah.
And Zach Taylor for benching Giovanni Bernard for his first
fumble in freaking 84 years. Like, really? That's how you treat the veteran? Like, come on, man. Like, no.
It's almost like someone, since they hired Zach Taylor as the head coach, has been saying he shouldn't be the head coach.
It's almost like we have a discrimination problem in this league of guys with mustaches. Gardner Minshew gets benched unfairly. Now Gio gets benched unfairly. It's turning into some bullshit is what it is.
So what you're saying is don't grow just a mustache because you're going to get singled out.
Hey, the Minshew thing ticked me off because I was like, who else do you really have? Like,
yeah,
what are you really
right.
gonna do? Like, so that one I get though. The Gio first one, like for real though, like what are you doing?
I mean, if you're telling me it's because you're trying to see what you have behind Mixon, like with Travion Williams
to begin with,
like,
yeah,
you know, exactly. They should have been playing from the get-go, but you're going out there. You re-signed Gio. He's been, you know, he's a leader for that team, but like that, I don't understand that play. Like, that's not how you treat your veteran leaders. Like, they make one mistake and that's it. Nah, man, that's not cool. That's not.
That team has a leader.
His name's Joe Burrow. He's currently in Cincinnati's hospital.
Yeah.
Recovering.
Lieutenant Dan, I got ice cream.
Oh no.
All right.
I'm a huge Joe Burrow truther, by the way, so no one attack them in the comments.
I love Burrow. Love Burrow.
Love him.
After this, guys, we will get to these questions in here right now. But my 3 downs. Been saying this since the day he was signed. No one wants to listen. Cam Newton. Yeah. I have finally gotten these two jamokes in the corners of the screen on the Cam Newton sucks, get him out of New England train. Only took 180 days to whenever the hell he signed. I'm just going to guess it's been 180 days. Took him too long. Took him way too long. And you'll see later that Robbie has him as his downside, and I was ecstatic. And Robbie is welcome back anytime on the show for that sole reason. That's it.
You've basically given Robbie the advantage to tank the rest of the show, and he's still coming back.
Yes.
No,
Robbie,
don't worry, I have great takes. It's okay.
No, you could leave now, and you'd still be welcome back anytime because you put Cam Newton as a downside. Welcome back anytime, my friend.
Luckily, I'm just reaching to the mini fridge to grab another brewski. We're good.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Also, what a great week for my season-long takes here. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Piles of shit.
Can I just point out? Can I just point out the moment they benched Deontay Johnson, that offense sucked.
Yeah, it was rough.
Can I also point out that the offense outside of Deontay Johnson is mostly garbage anyway.
That's okay.
So, Washington football team, baby. I mean, Robbie, I bet WFT on the money line and the spread that game. So I'm very happy with the outcome. Very happy.
Hey, and then I went on air before the game even happened. I was like, this is what's going to happen. And everyone was like, you're wrong. You're wrong. And I'm like, oh, I've only been doing this for a couple of years, but okay.
Mike Tomlin, not a good head coach. Not a good head coach.
Oh, come on.
That's bold.
Not a good head coach.
I think that's bold.
His one Super Bowls off Bill Cowher's sloppy seconds changed my mind.
Okay, I mean, and I get that, but that argument is basically Andy Reid's not a good head coach because he only has one Super Bowl. He was arguably the most consistent head coach when he was with Philly.
No, not the same argument because here's where the two differ. Tomlin pretty much did get Cowher's sloppy seconds. It's the same argument that gets made when, I hate to bring up another sport, but when people bring up the Warriors, where it's like, Steve Kerr, you just got Mark Jackson sloppy seconds.
Correct.
It's just so I understand 100% where you're coming from, Joe, but I will say the way that man calls some X's and O's, creative as hell.
I just don't know what's going on with their running game. I don't know how you go from one of the most dominant running teams in the NFL and then
because they don't have a good running back.
And you just give up.
It's that simple.
Villanova on film has been looking a little bit banged up. But what's been concerning me is receivers. Did your hands catch the vid? Why are you not hanging on to the ball? Like it astounds me how you have Deontay Johnson, Juju, and Big Chase Poppy Claypool all just dropping the rock for the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, for Deontay, it's been for a few weeks, but he's a volume receiver. I mean, you can see that.
Deontay
got to
also
feed
has
the football.
Deontay has size issues.
But you know what, though? He's the only wide receiver on that team that can separate.
This is true. But hey, I'll say this. When I sat down next to Deontay, he was still shorter than me. So, I mean, that's where he has a little bit of problem. Put some size up, homie. Drink some milk, and you'll be
There you go.
You'll be a beast.
Or go to the hardware store and exchange your bricks for actual hands, and you'll be good to go. I mean, Josh, you say volume receiver. I don't give a shit. You need to catch the football. Like when you boil it down, your job, catch the football.
Okay, well, look at running backs. Your job's to run the football. Some players just need repetition to get going. If you're only going to give a guy 9 carries, you can't expect him to have 80 yards. You give him 20 carries, he's going to have a better chance to get 100 yards.
But it's
that's the point that I'm getting at.
It's also in Deontay's mechanics too. You know, you'll take a curl route, for example. He's leaving his feet behind in the route. So like when he stops and he's coming back to catch, your feet are back here and you're slipping and you're falling to where maybe 9 times out of 10 you're falling on the catch. You're catching it with your body. It may be when you catch with your body. Anyone that's ever put on a pair of pads knows this. The ball's going to bounce off your pads.
Yeah.
You got to catch it with your hands. That's why I've always loved Fitzgerald, because that's how he catches the football. He catches it with his hands.
So, I mean, Deontay has a lot of things that in the offseason, he's young. He's a sophomore receiver. But clean up those things. Footwork God. I have a connect with Footwork God on Instagram. Deontay, get at me, bro. I'll hook it up. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just he angers me sometimes because it's the simple, like, this is the first thing they teach you as a receiver. Catch the football before turning your head and making a play.
Yep.
He's turning his head to make a play before he has the football in his hands. It's just that's simple. And then my last one is every single kicker employed in the NFL.
God, there were so many missed extra points this week.
What a week.
Wow, it's terrible.
I mean, can we just talk about how Cody Parkey just keeps on repeating history every day? He needs to walk around, like when he goes to King Supers or whatever grocery store is local to him, wear a paper bag, bro. Like, you shouldn't be allowed in public. Like, or send someone else out to go and get it for you. Grubhub everything for all I care.
Yeah.
Just real quick, Josh, how was that 22-yard field goal that Jake Elliott whiffed? Hardcore.
Awful.
Great. Fantastic.
Awful.
Just wanted to check
awful.
Wanted to check in with you on that one. All right. Let's get into some of these questions. And Michael, the weekly question of Lamar versus Big Ben is no longer because Ben Roethlisberger's garbage. So
and Lamar has a great matchup.
And Lamar is
also has a great matchup, yes. But he does need 3. Antonio Brown, Robbie Anderson, Jarvis Landry, and DJ Moore, and Darius Slayton. So 3 of those 5, Josh.
I would go Antonio Brown and probably the 2 Carolina receivers because I figure one of them is going to pop, the one that doesn't see Jair Alexander. I just don't know which one it's going to be.
Is it Moore on IR?
No, I think he just came off
today.
Yeah, he just came off.
I can double check that for you.
Okay, because I have him in a league, and
I don't trust Landry. He scooted into the top 36 last week, literally at wide receiver 36. But Baker's looking everywhere else. It is not just throwing to Landry, so I think the upside is really capped. And Slayton has been the biggest disappointment this year.
I mean, with Landry's situation, when you have a receiver in Higgins on that same core, to where he, except for last week, he catches about 70% of all of his targets. Him and Baker have a great connection. That makes it a little bit difficult to trust him whenever you bring up a stat like that.
And then you've got Peoples-Jones that's starting to pop because they're looking downfield for him.
Yeah,
exactly. I do have. So it's saying that DJ Moore will play this week. On Sleep Wrap, he still has that NA, that red NA next to him. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Because they've never done that designation before. So what I would do is I would play big on my 2 Carolina guys. And and I think that even one of the two will still have a safe floor. I do not think there's ever a universe that we do not start Robbie Anderson. I'll just put that on record. And then I'll probably go with Jarvis Landry just because I'm going to go with the intangible factor that he is still the leader of that team, one of the leaders of that locker room. So Baker is still going to try and get him the targets, and he's still, every time he gets the ball, going to try and prove that he is a baller and he's the one on that court. So I just stuff like that gets me, and I think it'll pay off.
You got to stay away from Slayton, especially if Colt McCoy comes back in. Colt McCoy destroyed Darius Slayton for 2 weeks. He didn't get much better with Daniel Jones, but if McCoy's back, you have to stay away from Slayton. And I'm staying away from DJ Moore. Legit had COVID, so I'm staying away from him in his first week back. I would go with the first three guys. So.
Yeah, I have Anderson as a downside this week because this was me assuming DJ Moore wasn't playing and he would see Jaheir Alexander. But even with that being said, I would still go the first three because I think, again, I'm going off the assumption Moore wasn't playing, and even if he is, Ryan, you just brought up he actually had COVID, and Darius Slayton looks like a pile of garbage. So.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie Anderson. What he's still a top 15 guy. Yep. You know, as long as you have a top tier guy like that, you're always throwing him in.
Exactly.
Yeah, you always that upside is there,
and they should be playing from behind. So,
yep,
that's the other side of it.
From McSweet, Trubisky or Matt Stafford this week, Ryan.
Spoiler alert, Trubisky stream of the week. Now, Stafford wouldn't qualify for stream of the week. I don't quite know where I have him in my projections right now, but I still don't think I would trust Stafford. I heard Stafford is actually on the questionable list right now, too. So
there's a chance he may not play. So this decision may get made for you, but I think even I would still go Trubisky.
I'd roll with the biscuit.
Yeah, risk it to get the biscuit on this one. Go with Trubisky. Interesting fact, though. XFL quarterback Jordan Ta'amu is now with the Lions.
Detroit, yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh baby. They don't trust 25-year NFL
up on
vet
Chase Daniel and his millions.
Yeah. Wow.
Hell no.
But yeah, Trubisky in that instance. From JAC, Miles Sanders in Arizona or J-Rob in Baltimore? Josh.
Both.
Yeah, I forgot how do I get both in my lineup?
The one time that I did not put faith in Sanders, that's what happens. He breaks off those long runs. This is why he's so hard to bench, because at any given play, he can go off. The NFL has seen 11 plays of 70 yards or more on a run play, and he has 3 of them. That is how dynamic he is with the football in his hands.
I'm going to go on the assumption, and his next question is about Eckler, so I have a feeling it might be Eckler he's starting over those guys. But I'm going to go on the assumption that or not on the assumption. I'm going to go with my favorite answer. If you're projected to win, go with James Robinson. Floor is super safe with James Robinson. Yep. If you need the home run, James Robinson is not getting you the home run week this week. Miles Sanders could. So.
Yep, I'm going to say, first, start with your Eckler question. I think that he's going to go out there and he's going to be played. He's going to ball.
Yeah, I think he tweeted out that he's fine.
Yeah.
I just double checked the news on it too, and they're calling him just scheduled maintenance days.
Yeah,
he's going to be out there.
Exactly. So he's just probably getting his veteran days in right now. With that being said, and if you have to pick between those two, between Sanders and Robinson, I'm going to go James Robinson. Again, I don't see an alternate universe where I'm starting. I'm not putting James Robinson into my lineup.
That's fair.
I mean, he's never had a single-digit PPR game this year. I mean, exactly. Of any of the running backs, he probably is hands down the safest.
He is. When it comes to,
I don't think he ceded carries to another running back this year, but Divine Ozigbo did take 4 targets this week, and that concerns me a little bit because I liked it better when Robinson was getting all of the work. So
yeah. That team looks better that way too.
Yeah. God, I don't like either. So I'm benching James Robinson for Jonathan Taylor and Calvin Ridley. I had JT in my flex, moved him to running back, and put Ridley in my flex over James Robinson. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm projected to lose. I'm going up against Derrick Henry, so that should tell you everything you need to know there. And we talked about this with Derrick Henry 3 years ago when he started breaking out. You take away those big plays, he averages 2.5 yards per carry. I don't want to bank on Miles Sanders I don't want to bank on the defense Miles Sanders goes against to fuck up.
Yeah.
Because you need to fuck up bad on a 70-plus yard run. And I'm sorry, he ain't outrunning Budda Baker.
And that's the
they're
big
not
thing.
outrunning Budda Baker.
Isaiah Simmons. I mean, there's so many players on Arizona that are going to catch him.
Yeah, he's not. So I'm not banking on Sanders because outside of that giant run, he looked like shit.
No,
he's a great running back.
But I mean, you're talking about the Saints, who have arguably the best run defense in the league.
Josh,
Arizona's not in that category.
But that's one of those things where I'm going to refer to that as Lady Luck. Like I've had some plays where it's like, dude, I did not just catch that one-handed. Like in flag football, I'm like, holy shit, so there's a such thing, and sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm a good athlete, but maybe I might get lucky at the same time. I mean, and I don't want to bank on that with Sanders, not in the semis.
So hold on, let's because his 3 70-plus yard runs have come against
Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and New Orleans.
Okay, so all top 5 defenses. So Sanders isn't going to rip a 70-yard run this week. It's that simple.
Yeah, if we want to go, there we go.
So if you want to look at it that way, that means that his overall floor minus the big play should be better because Arizona isn't the same run defense in those categories.
No, because he's gone up against terrible run defenses and can't do anything.
Except now he has a quarterback that actually has to be respected with his legs. So you have to account for that.
So you're telling me
I will agree with that. I will agree with that.
So you're telling me there's more people in the box? Just what Miles Sanders needs.
It's not about more people in the box. It's about people having to respect a running quarterback. So you're going to have someone spying the quarterback. That's one less person that he has to worry about.
More in the box is also what leads to those huge runs, because once you beat your guy, you're gone. Now, with Budda Baker, that might not be.
You're not outrunning Budda Baker. It's just it's that simple. You're not outrunning the best safety in the NFL.
DK did. We all saw that.
Okay, that's DK Metcalf. Miles Sanders is not as fast as DK Metcalf, so
he's still pretty fast. Just saying.
Josh, I understand that you have a full-on giant pee-pee boner for Miles Sanders, but this season, he's not it. He's not it. His skill is amazing. When the ball's in his hands, he can do great things. The issue is, it's not his year. This isn't me attacking Miles Sanders for his skill.
I'll go back to what Ryan said. If you need the upside, Sanders over Robinson.
I
mean, it really is that simple.
I will also say that in this instance, but I don't like either of their matchups, especially Robinson. I don't like that matchup at all. I think Baltimore will get up 28-0 real fast, and Jacksonville's just going to have to throw the football.
See, but I don't think Jacksonville will abandon it. I think they'll just keep feeding Robinson.
They've been doing it all year.
Yeah.
They're stubborn to a core.
That's fair. From Dave, we willing to risk Julian Edelman as a wide receiver 3 in any leagues? Dave.
Nope. Shouldn't even be rostered.
No. Yeah.
I think Dave's a Patriots fan. I think that's why he's asking this question.
Really is.
Yeah. Dave, from one Patriots fan to another, Julian Edelman shouldn't be playing football. He is broken.
I do like his question before that you skipped over.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Thank you. Controversial question. What's your thoughts about roster churning the waiver wire, add and drop the next day as a form of playing keep away from opponents?
So like when you say like add and drop next day, so typically what most leagues are what your waivers will go through Tuesday. You'll get your guys that you add and drop for waivers on Wednesday. Then by Thursday, I mean, you're already in. So I feel like that's probably the most fairest process.
Yeah, but if you're doing it on like a Sunday or Saturday.
Basically what he's asking is most leagues have 2-day waivers. So you sign a bunch of guys on Friday, cut them on Saturday, sign new guys on Saturday and cut them on Sunday, so that you've taken away every good free agent option from your opponents on Sunday if they have an injury and things like that.
I just remember this from the league when Ruxin did this and everybody was throwing a bitch fit about it.
Yeah.
I think it's Bush League, personally.
Yeah, one,
Love it.
if you're gonna allow me to do it, that's the commissioner's fault too.
I agree.
I think that it is kind of stupid though. I also pride myself on building my team to the point to where in week 15 or week 14, week 15, week 16, I shouldn't be having to do any of that. Like if I'm doing that, I'm getting clearly super grimy, and I am now like I'm dealing with the situation where that I have to pull that move.
So I'm kind of on the opposite side where I know Joe's about to say he loves it. I'm fine with it. If your opponent was doing their job, they should have had their players on Wednesday or the week before anyway. So
Exactly, yeah.
Also, if your opponent was good at drafting, they would have already drafted a stellar roster.
Drafting.
And built it up.
You don't draft for week 16, Joe. Come on.
Yeah.
I drafted Jonathan Taylor, so.
Well, fair enough.
It was damn sure wasn't for week 16.
Tell
Keep
me
in mind,
I'm
this
wrong.
is Joe who said you can't get beat in the playoffs if you're not in them.
Tell me I'm wrong. Ryan, listen. I don't go by that mantra. I just say it because it's. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, no, you do. Well, I drafted Jonathan Taylor for the rest of my
Everybody
life.
drafted Jonathan Taylor.
Well, I drafted him for
I
marriage.
didn't. I was
just
just
for the
DeAndre
playoffs.
Swift truther. I was a person on Twitter then when I was like, DeAndre Swift over Jonathan Taylor, and everyone was like, "You're dumb. You don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, I just said who my bias is. That's first off what I like more. Like I didn't expect to be
I'm allowed
attacked.
to say I like somebody better.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not following your podcast anymore. You're wrong. And then I've been right most of the year on Swift, aside from when he was hurt. And then people were
if Swift never gets that concussion, Swift might be rookie of the year. He was about to blow.
The amount of people that have been in my comments and have been like, didn't expect you to get this right. Can't believe you were right about this. I'm like, you thought that I just started a podcast for no reason? Just to sit behind a desk and play with myself? What the fuck? Like, come on. I did this to be real.
It's essentially what OnlyFans is. So.
There you go. We need to start. We could be. I was gonna say we could be the first fantasy football OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Hey,
That would be funny.
Ryan, you know.
Do Mustache Mondays with Wheezy Weez.
There you go. Oh my God, I'm about to be fucking rich.
It's mustache porn, essentially. We only feature Gardner Minshew and Giovanni Bernard, the two most discriminated against NFL players in the league.
I won't stand for it. I'm gonna get a lot of green stand up for him.
Yeah. All right.
Chris
Bill
had
Power
one.
filming.
Just remember that.
Show's off the rails. All right.
Now we need the mustache, Chris. If you're out there.
From my brother, Russell Wilson or Jared Goff this week. Josh.
I
Is your
don't
brother-
love Wilson's matchup.
I just want Robbie to give his answer from the show doc.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I mean, Jared Goff. It's the goddamn Jack.
Still one of the best movie lines ever.
So on sheer principle, I left Jared Goff off of my stream of the week list. He should have been my QB2 on my stream of the week list. I'm starting Goff over Wilson this week.
It's so hard to bench Wilson. It really is. I mean,
It's hard to watch him right now too.
but you know what? The way that they're feeding Cam Akers, and again, it's the Jets. Why would we assume that they're going to throw the ball a ton anyway? You know what I mean?
They're not gonna run it.
They're not going to
80
run it
times.
every time either, though. Again, what corners?
Yeah. I mean,
Who's there to stop?
I just feel like for
Rodgers.
Goff, this is going to be one of those weeks where he has like 120 yards and 3 touchdowns. And just because he has the 3
That's
touchdowns,
perfect.
he sneaks in at like QB 15.
Well, I was gonna say that's the opposite of what he did in Seattle with 350 yards and zero touchdowns.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the possibility of like I'm a huge Russell Wilson fan. He's gonna be running for his life a lot and having to extend plays like that scares me.
Yeah, he's been on the downtrend too. He's not been playing as well the back half of the season.
Chase Young scares me.
And I put Russ as my downside mainly because I think one of those wide receivers is going to eat. That's not going to be enough to make Russ a playable quarterback this week.
Whatever. So put it this way: they'll put Ronald Darby on Lockett, and Lockett will be the receiver that you play.
Yep.
See, I got Lockett as a downside this week. They've locked down the slot. Washington has. Copeland, I think Copeland has allowed less than 20 receiving yards per game in the slot this year.
I mean, Washington is number 3 against fantasy wide receivers in general. I don't expect it, but you could be looking at a down game from both of them.
Metcalf is going to eat when he's lined up against Darby.
You need to go golf. But if you're playing your brother because he let me on the show, play Wilson.
He's actually I'm in the semifinals. He's in the championship for the losers bracket. So
trying to
if he loses this game, he has to eat an Arby's fish sandwich, which we imagine has to be the worst thing on the face of the planet to put in your mouth.
I forgot all about that punishment until you just said it again.
Yeah, the punishment is you have to eat something off the Arby's menu, and the fish sandwich is the grossest thing we could find.
Yeah, that's
gotta
be the nastiest thing.
Robbie, they don't even know that it's gross. They literally just thought, what would be the grossest thing on Arby's menu? It's probably the fish sandwich.
Has to be a fish sandwich. Has to be a fish
I'm
sandwich.
laughing my ass off. Like, I feel like we need to record this and show it on the show because it could very well get us an Arby's sponsorship if it's good.
Yeah, because it's probably going to be good. Like, I have a feeling, like, I eat at Arby's. Like, there's like a
I had lunch at Arby's today. I was picking up my mom from her.
It's the most obscure, wonderful league punishment. I love it.
I just love their curly fries. That's legit the only
him,
reason why you go to Arby's.
At least make him wear a dress while he has to eat it or something. Damn.
No.
All you got to do is eat a fish sandwich, bro.
Just has to eat an Arby's fish sandwich. None of us like fish, so.
Oh, okay.
I guess that makes it worse.
We also can't imagine it's good. So anyway, if you start Wilson, you die at the hand of the guy, that
got you there.
That got you there.
Yeah.
If you start Goff and he sucks, well,
you could be like, I started Jared Goff. It's Ryan's fault.
Or you could just, say that, oh, my brother's been saying Jared Goff's an absolute garbage can since he entered the league. I would go Goff. You're in a lose-lose situation there because this is definitely the week where Jared Goff throws for 150 yards and 2 interceptions. This is the prime week for Jared Goff to do that. Prime week.
But if he hits 3 touchdowns, it makes up.
Oh, he's definitely hitting 3 touchdowns.
Hey, guys,
honestly, I don't think he's throwing for more than 160.
Hey, Gianni, there's 3 guys on here, and one of them did not just say that shit. Okay, all right. Three of us know that it's the Jets. All right, 3 of us know that it's the Jets.
Gee, trust me, I know it's the Jets. The Patriots play in the same division as the Jets. Trust me, I know how terrible they are. Jared Goff has more turnovers since the beginning of last season than Daniel Jones. We talk about how bad Daniel Jones is at turnovers. Jared Goff has more.
Jared Goff actually has a system, though, that at least the system that he plays in is so much better than the team that he is going to be playing against. Everything about the system that he plays in is so much better. Plus, Gase is going to try and find a way to lose.
Oh, 100%. I have no doubt the Rams win this game by 30. No doubt in my mind. Jared Goff contributes 2 interceptions to the Jets one way or another. Because he's Jared Goff. He's Jared Goff.
I don't think he
start Jared Goff.
That's giving too much credit to the Jets. Like, I'm trying to picture someone in a green and white uniform on
Robbie, I don't want to give any credit to the Jets. But I also don't want to give any credit to Jared Goff.
I'd rather give credit to Goff than the Jets.
Oh, I would much rather give credit to that crappy defense than that pile of.
If only we got fantasy points for Sean McVay, okay? Then case closed.
I wish. But another one from G here: Corey Davis, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett, or Raheem Mustard. Pick 2.
Oh, why you do this to me, Gianni?
That's a heartburn set of 4 players right there. I think Mostert, is going to be out. It's not.
I think he is as well. So that helps. Even though Mostert was probably your best option.
100% your best option.
Yeah, Mostert, I think you hope.
Damn, I would probably.
Give me Corey Davis and Deontay Johnson.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, it hurts.
We're
Hold on.
literally telling this guy to bench Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett in a game that might make him eat a fish sandwich.
Out of that group, I am absolutely not starting Lockett. I'll ride with Deontay and
pay close attention to Mostert. If Mostert's playing that Dallas matchup,
if Mostert plays, you play him. If he sits, go pivot to Davis. That's what I would do.
Maybe if you were nice this year, Santa will give you a present. It'll be Mostert.
There you go.
So, I assume this is the same league. Go pick up if you want, because he's projected to lose, by 15 points. He's projected to lose. So you upside City with him.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney against the Minnesota Vikings could be a nice little boom for you.
I put together 2 or 3 DFS lineups with him in it today. So,
bruh, all right. So the Vikings, they give up cheeks. Like it's like Vegas before
cheeks.
COVID.
I love when people use that expression. It's so funny.
I love cheeks.
I just see Joe's face and like the reflection of guys is like, I love cheeks.
Love cheeks.
But I couldn't even get through my joke. But the Minnesota Vikings give up more cheeks than a chick in a Vegas elevator before COVID. I know. I've been that random
before
guy.
COVID. I love that we've now added.
Got to add before COVID.
Yeah,
it was after
COVID.
COVID. No. That's not allowed. That's not allowed.
Yeah, keep your mask on when you're making out.
So instead of BC being before Christ, now it's before COVID.
Before COVID, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, so I don't mind the Mooney play. It's just that Allen Robinson he's the apple of Trubisky's eye. Like that's all that Trubisky sees. Yep. So because of that, that's what detracts you from Mooney in DFS.
Yeah.
But I get it if you're trying to go. You're trying to find. I assume Ryan, you went with him as a 2.
Yeah.
As a wide receiver 2?
Yep.
Yeah. So if you need to save the budget and you're just going for him as a 2.
Yep.
Minnesota giving up cheeks.
There you go.
Yeah, I was looking at Mooney too as an upside guy. He's been trending up.
Hit or miss.
Yeah. He's definitely been trending up in terms of like PPR points, but his targets have gone down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is like,
and I was checking snap counts. He's still playing well ahead of Anthony Miller, but I think they're just leaning on that running game so hard.
And I mean, this is another matchup they can exploit.
And Cole Kmet's finally involving himself in the offense.
Yeah,
dude, that is so dangerous. So Chicago, the Bears is just in general, when they use the tight end, a dangerous team.
Scary.
But when you guys forget that you have a big body player that is built like a freaking basketball power forward. Oh my gosh. Like it is astronomically how quickly bad Matt Nagy's playbook goes from this to this in just no time. So awful. Bears fans, I apologize if you have that as your coach.
Yeah. When Allen Robinson leaves next year, people are going to quickly find out that Darnell Mooney's a top 5 route runner in the NFL.
And I feel like Matt Nagy is starting to trend to Adam Gase territory. That he was given this. He was given this title of he was never a QB guru, but his offensive genius, and he is not looking like an offensive genius.
His one good year, Vic Fangio was his defensive coordinator. With that unreal defense.
Yeah.
And look at how often they use the tight end during then. Oh my gosh. But they got away from it. And the games they won this year, it's been because when Cole Kmet
scored, Cole Kmet's getting involved. Yep.
They get away from that. You cannot play. I feel like you cannot play Midwest football in the North without you having a good tight end. You need a big body, beefy guy that's going to go up there and jump out.
The Lions figured it out.
Yeah, TJ Hawkins
finally figured it out. Yeah.
Minnesota
if they learn how to use it, they can go Kyle Rudolph and Swervin Urban in the same formation. Go 12 personnel, it's done and over in Minnesota.
Or heavyweight MMA fighter Tyler Conklin.
Yeah.
He looks scary. No, but I mean, 2 tight end sets definitely could be a thing.
Yeah.
From Marcos over on Facebook, half point Ayuk, A.J. Brown, Thielen, Lockett start 2. I'm already going to rule out Tyler Lockett because I know you guys are not going to say his name. So between Thielen, A.J. Brown, and Brandon Ayuk.
A.J.
Ayuk
Brown.
for me.
Are we picking 2? Yeah, then
Yeah,
I'll go. I'll go Brown and Thielen, man. I know that Justin Jefferson's been the show stealer, just like A.J. Brown's been a show stealer in Tennessee, but Thielen is on to something right now.
Here's the thing with Thielen, Robbie. So Chicago is tied with the Giants and the Dolphins, the 4th fewest touchdowns allowed to wide receivers. Thielen got him for 2 touchdowns a couple weeks ago. Thielen has not topped. He's only topped 75 yards twice since week 5. You're banking on those touchdowns.
The one
This
thing
is
I love,
true.
Ayuk is my upside wide receiver this week. 56 targets in the last 5 games he's played. Since
3
week
20-plus point games in the last 5
Since
weeks.
week 7, he's the wide receiver 20, despite the fact that he's only played 5 games and most guys have played 7 to 8 in that same span.
Yeah, Ayuk is balling.
Is that good? Just a question.
Be good.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, fantastic. I'll go Ayuk and A.J. Brown as well in that instance.
But I get everything Robbie's saying. It's hard to bench Thielen.
Yeah,
He-
very
absolutely
hard to bench
it is.
Thielen.
Yeah.
Very hard
Absolutely
to
it
bench
is.
Thielen.
But to me, you got to go with the hot hand. And right now, the hot hands, they're Ayuk and they're A.J. Brown.
And
Yeah.
Debo's hurt too. Also, Dallas has historically
They've
the
allowed
second
the
worst
most,
defense in the NFL.
They've allowed the most
Yeah.
touchdowns to wide receivers this year.
Marcos,
Yeah,
if you're
let's
still in
go
the chat,
Ayuk.
I'd love
Yeah.
to know who you're starting in your flex over Thielen, though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that'd be interesting. All right, from Steven.
Hey.
What's up, fellas? Akers over CEH in a full PPR. We'll just start there. I think that's
Yes.
an easy yes.
very much
Akers.
yes.
Yeah, Akers.
He says Gesicki hurt him. Does he pick up and play Irv Smith, Jordan Reed, or Cole Kmet?
Cole Kmet.
There's your answer.
Sorry, super biased.
No, and I love Kmet this week, and I debated putting him at my stream of the week for tight end. I'm still going to lean Jordan Reed because I'm an idiot. I would go Jordan Reed, but I 100% am on board with going Kmet over him.
Here's my thing with Kmet. He's playing more snaps, which is great, but they're using Graham when it matters most, and that's scoring touchdowns. Kmet only has 2. Graham has 6. Minnesota's allowed 5 touchdowns to tight ends this year. I want that touchdown upside with Graham. Kmet's not doing anything else.
Yeah, I just like the fact that Kmet has 7 targets in each of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, the targets are great, but if they're, again, with tight ends, if they're not scoring touchdowns, they're not very useful. Only 4 tight ends last week that top 10 points did not score a touchdown.
My theory is you got to start using. My theory is, especially with the NFL meeting that came down today, that they're possibly looking at going to that 2-game preseason game thing for sure. Is you need to start utilizing the end of the season now to start figuring out what you have, and many NFL coaches have already done that and practiced that in the past, and that's why you see a lot of guys, maybe get benched in week 15, week 16, and now you're not getting to play them. So because a rookie may step up and play. That's how Steve Sims last year had a huge outing last year, and he blew up last year. I'm going to go Kmet here because I feel like that Chicago is wanting to see what they have right there, and then they know that they have something. And to Ryan, your point, that's why we're noticing the uptick in the targets. Find out what you have now before later.
I'll ride with Kmet in that instance as well.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad gamble. I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for max upside with tight ends, you're looking for touchdowns. Kmet's not delivering them.
Yeah.
To me, that's the issue.
Yep. Also, should he flex Lynn Bowden? I actually contemplated this because he's been getting targets, but I'm not ready to do it.
I'm not ready to do it. That is too risky in the semis. I know that on my show I've been known to preach how big are your kahunas this season. Risk it to get the biscuit. All of our different sayings. But in this scenario, I'm gonna ask you to go chalk and don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe think about some of these other guys that you mentioned throughout this scenario, and maybe we play them in a flex, or maybe someone else that you have on your roster, we put them in.
There you go. And also following up with Marcos, he's flexing Chubb in an 8-team, so you're not.
You're definitely
Nick
not
Chubb.
starting Thielen over Chubb. So
Yeah, not sitting Nick Chubb. From Faith, DJ Chark or Hunter Renfrow in the flex.
Hey, what up, Leap of Faith? I would love DJ Chark do, but Hunter Renfrow just got that extra year extension. Ruggs is out with the vid-19, so we're gonna go ahead and roll out Renfrow, baby.
yeah, I love everything about Jacksonville except watching them play football right now. Give me Renfro.
Josh?
It's hard for me to want to sit Chark because Minshew's back and Minshew likes Chark
a lot.
But that matchup isn't great. And Renfro, as disappointing as he's been,
say it.
Yeah, I think I would lean Renfro.
Yeah.
I don't love it, but I think I would lean Renfro.
Love me some Hunter Renfro, the 25-year senior out of Clemson.
Hey, dude, I saw that man at his draft party when he got to see his jersey revealed. He dressed like he was the oldest man there, too. Had the khakis.
He is? You didn't know?
Hey, every other player, Benny Snell, everybody had their chains, their Gucci bags. And there's Hunter Renfro and his girl. Look like they're ready for Sunday service.
He got his Air Monarchs on.
Love Renfro.
It's like watching Steve Buscemi go undercover at college. Like,
yeah, absolutely love Hunter Renfro. For my buddy Will, less than 100% Keenan Allen or Marvin Jones.
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. I'll take Keenan Allen on 2 broken legs over Marvin Jones. Keenan Allen is that good.
That was one of the few calls I got right last week, sitting Marvin Jones. I was happy about that.
Yeah.
Nice. And from Rajveer Ashot.
That's one of my guys, Rumboyz.
Boom.
There you go. Deshaun Watson or Jared Goff? I'll start with you, Robbie.
The goddamn Jets. You got to go with Goff, bro. I mean, although you know Watson is gonna ball for you.
Yeah, he was really down last week. Holy crap. He looked terrible.
But going up against Houston, against Indy rather, he put up 3 bills on them.
Yep.
2 weeks ago, 20 fantasy points.
I think a lot's going to depend on whether Cooks plays.
Yeah.
If Cooks plays, I'll roll with Watson. If Cooks is out, I'll go with Goff in the better matchup.
Man, hey, if Cooks plays, bro, I will catch it. I'll get on the red eye and come and give you the biggest damn hug ever, bro. I'll bring beer. I'll bring freaking everything, man. Oh gosh, I'll fly with edibles, bro. Whatever.
I know he was a late scratch last week.
He was.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if he ends up playing, then at the very least, Indy has to focus on Cooks, and that opens up for QT and Hansen. Yep. When QT is your number 1 against Chicago, you have no options.
Oh, I love Kiki. I love Kiki. I love Kiki. That's the power.
That touchdown saved QT's day because everybody was all over QT with Cooks going out, and I was like, "Nah, man."
Yeah, Chad Hansen.
Bop is out there catching balls for the Houston Texans.
Good song. Was it 90s?
Yeah.
Nice.
My age just showed there, huh?
Well, Joe's the only young one. We're all old guys.
So. Oh, great. Thanks.
I think Umbop stayed out before Joe was born.
Yeah, relatively sure he did.
Bop by Hansen.
Oh, he just had
how many M's?
There's 3 M's.
I was asking how many you typed in.
3.
You got it? Okay.
I know the title. Ryan, I'm very cultured when it comes to music. 1997, the year before I was born.
Okay, so you and Google are the same age. Nice.
I am actually a month older than Google. Thank you, Robbie. Okay.
I love
Doesn't make me feel any better how much more advanced Google is than me, and we're the same age. Kind of feels bad. Just a follow up from Will. If Allen leaves in the first quarter, he's never talking to me again. So, I'll be willing to put our friendship on the line, I guess, if Keenan Allen leaves in the first quarter. If he leaves in the second quarter, we're friends for life, just so you know. JAC, Josh Allen in Denver or Ryan Tannehill at home against Detroit? Josh.
There's no way in hell I'm sitting Josh Allen right now.
Cannot bench
Josh
Allen.
Why can't this be a 2 QB league for you?
Right?
Yeah, really.
Oh, man.
God.
I do like Tannehill against Detroit, but
I love Josh Allen.
Why? All he needs to do is hand the ball to Derrick
on.
Henry. 225 yards. Just let him go.
We saw Josh Allen throw the football 70 yards at the combine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's now playing in thin
He's
air.
going to throw it 90 yards.
Dude.
It's like
he's so used to this air from Wyoming.
And this is why Gabriel Davis is my upside this week.
Stephon Diggs is going to be like some stay out go. He's going to wait up.
like Stephon Diggs could have 3 catches this game and have 270 yards.
And you actually someone I don't remember jokingly touched on a point of Derrick Henry is about to end the world this week. Detroit gives up the most fantasy points to running backs.
Ryan, shut up.
Derrick
Ryan,
Henry
shut up.
exists.
Ryan, shut up.
I'm so glad I got my Tim in our Dynasty League this week when he had Derrick Henry, because I do not want to face Derrick Henry this week.
Guys, shut up. Because I have to play Derrick Henry and T.Y. Hilton this week. And Alvin Kamara.
Rest in peace,
and
Joe.
Tyreek Hill.
Oh, bro, that
and
was me
Aaron
last
Rodgers.
week. Hey, that was me last week as a 6 seed that just barely got into a league, and I got my shit kicked in, bro.
You're like, whoa, what did I do?
Bro, like I have Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Tunyon, and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
I have a solid team. I'm playing Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara, T.Y. Hilton, Tyreek Hill, Derrick Henry.
Bro,
I'm gonna get
It's a
smoked.
hell of a matchup for not the
Bro,
championship.
Right?
I faced
That is the championship matchup. Next week's going to be a letdown.
Bro, I faced that exact lineup basically. Homie had Allen Robinson, Tyreek Hill,
Oh, God.
and Devontae Adams. I was like, bro, at least buy me dinner first.
Oh, let me throw this out. So I have Devontae Adams and Tunyon. He has Aaron Rodgers. So that hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't even score
no,
unless he
he's
scores.
yeah. So we were the only two teams to score over 2,000 points for this season.
Makes
So do you
sense.
wanna start
And we're in
drinking
the
for your
same
lost
division.
hour later?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're in the same division. So how the league works is first place team in each division gets the bye, and the divisions play each other until the championship.
There you go.
So that's how that cookie crumbles. And keep in mind, I'm benching James Robinson in that league. So, and I lost Joe Burrow as my quarterback.
You
so
need
that's
them big
why
points. So, yeah.
Yeah, losing Joe Burrow as my quarterback really hurt me there. From Lee, Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson? That's an easy one. 1, 2, 3.
Lamar.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar, yeah. Lamarvelous.
Yeah. And last one here from Faith before I run through our upside down side. Zach Ertz, Tyler Higbee, or Hayden Hurst? Josh.
Higbee.
Yeah.
Higbee's got the better matchup, but I actually do like Ertz this week. Goddard has been more involved, which I think Budda Baker is going to shut him down, and they're going to forget about Ertz. Philly right now is running the highest percentage of 12 personnel. I think you're going to see some Ertz shine this week. It's kind of like a last hurrah because I don't think he's going to be in Philly next year.
Let me give you the no help Faith that you were asking for a few questions ago. If I needed big upside, I'd go Higbee. He could repeat the 3 touchdown performance this week. But if I'm going safe, I'm actually going Hurst, and there's no way I'm starting Ertz. I actually dropped Ertz in a league that I'm in the playoffs.
Hurst has been so disappointing.
I know.
The last month of the season. Oh God. It's a good matchup against Tampa, but I don't understand how you can trust Hurst right now.
They should have never swapped those tight ends, bro. They should have never.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Austin Hooper feels the same way right now too. If he cares about his production, like
right.
I know he loved getting the bag, but I'm sure he wishes he was back in Atlanta.
Exactly. Yeah, Baltimore downgraded. Freaking Atlanta downgraded. Both got rid of their tight ends. Awful. Don't make stupid decisions, people.
And Lee throws out there he's playing against Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, Kenyon Drake, Alvin Kamara, Devontae Adams, and Robert Woods this week.
Oh, Lee,
my
luck,
condolences. Sir. You and I can go have a virtual happy hour to cry our sorrows away on Monday.
Bro, I literally do that. Like, I've done that. Like, I've had virtual happy hours. Like, don't play. Like, if we get locked down, again, Club Rumboyz is back open.
Oh yeah.
We got virtual beer pong set up and everything.
And,
shout out to Lee's opponent, because Henry and Kamara should not be able to be on the same team.
He had to have made a trade. That's the one.
And then to have Adams on that same team.
So because I'm playing against a guy who has Henry and Kamara. Like,
good point.
Keep in mind too, if it's PPR, Henry could have slipped.
Yeah,
no,
could have. I'm not saying he would have, but he could have.
So in this league, it is PPR, and he did not slip. The guy who I'm playing, essentially, when you broke it down, the trade was Travis Fulgham for Alvin Kamara. That was essentially the trade.
Sell high, man.
Wow.
Sell high. That's a
Josh,
real
it
thing.
wasn't even high. This was like week 11.
Oh, so when he was starting to put ones out there?
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, it's painful. It's painful because we wanted that guy to come in last. So his quote was, "I traded Alvin Kamara for flex depth."
Oh, I remember that.
Remember that? Yes.
Yeah. Right, Robbie? Flex depth. The biggest thing you need in fantasy football isn't your first round pick.
A term that all of us together in our time in fantasy football have never used.
One time.
Flex depth. Flex depth. Yep. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right. Let's flag these upside downsides here, and then I want to chat a little bit about the blurred lines pick because we can have some fun with that. It's a giant line. All right.
Kind of like how you got screwed on a giant line last week.
Yeah, guess who I'm betting against? The team that fucked me last week. Robbie, this week you have Jared Goff, and once more, why Jared Goff?
The goddamn Jets.
There you go. David Montgomery, and you've said it before, Minnesota gives up cheeks.
Ass.
Minnesota gives up cheeks, just like Big Sean and Nicki Minaj.
There you go.
T.Y. Hilton, once again, what DBs, bro, with the laughing emoji. And shout out to Rajveer, who just said he's still on the Logan Thomas hype train, and you have Logan Thomas as your upside tight end.
And Raj, who's been helping you win that cash? You already know, baby. Come on.
Yeah. You and Ryan have been in the same boat because Ryan's been tooting his horn since like week 2.
Yep.
So, yep. Ryan, speaking
Ryan,
of you.
we're pretty good analysts. High five, bro.
Yeah, we know what's going on.
Oh, you did it right the first time, Ryan.
Nice.
Love
it. Ryan, you have Mitch Trubisky as your upside quarterback, Gus Edwards, Brandon Ayuk, and Noah Fant.
I just want to say, go look for Gus Edwards in fantasy football right now. Gus Edwards was the RB9 on 7 carries last week, and he is going to see volume this week. Go get Gus Edwards.
I think Ingram played, 2 snaps last week?
2 total snaps, no carries.
Yep. Josh.
Changing of the guard.
You have Taysom Hill, which I imagine hurts.
Very much.
Miles Sanders, Gabriel Davis, and Rob Gronkowski. I have Baker Mayfield, the other running back in that backfield, J.K. Dobbins, T.Y. Hilton, it's Houston, and what DBs, bruh? And I also have Eric Ebron against Cincinnati. Downside, Cam Newton, baby. Robbie. the best
Way to go,
downside there could be. Cam Newton.
That's how you suck up to the host.
without
even knowing you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yep. Running back Ezekiel Elliott saying that San Francisco's defense can still contain the run. Your wide receiver, you have Devin Singletary, the running back in
Also
Buffalo.
Hey, I did my show notes while driving, okay? I was in I-25 traffic off an edible typing, okay?
And he's like, fuck, who's the receiver in Buffalo? Devin Singletary. It's like, wait.
He's not wrong, though.
And I love how he even puts Josh Allen is the running back now.
Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong.
He just gave us 2 running backs. Don't start Devin Singletary.
And he gave you an upside running back, Josh Allen.
Yep.
There you go.
And then you also have Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, man, he's frustrating within the least, and I think that Bersker could probably be the guy, and Jonnu Smith could be someone that Tennessee uses in trade bait in the offseason. Maybe go get a draft pick or something.
Yeah. Also, real quick, because I love shitting on the Steelers anytime we can, Rajveer says he's going to start a GoFundMe to get a jugs machine for the Steelers. No, they badly need to hop on the jugs machine.
I literally tweeted that the day that game was going. I was like, man, they need to spend some time on the jugs machine. This is ridiculous.
Ryan, you have Russell Wilson as a downside. I'll spoil I also have Russell Wilson as a downside.
We've been destroying him for the entire show.
So. Yeah, he's a fade for me this week. So
you also have CEH, Devontae Parker, and both Philadelphia tight ends being Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz.
And watch Richard Rodgers ball out.
Yep, that's what's going to happen.
Still a win.
100%. Josh, taking a page out of old Joe's book here.
It's the only time I'll ever tell Joe he's right.
Tua Tagovailoa, Belichick does really well against rookie quarterbacks. The only caveat, and I know you say it in here, it's in Miami, which New England sucks in Miami for some.
Well, and this is going to be the test. Was it Tom Brady that caused them to suck, or was it Bill Belichick?
Their defense has sucked in Miami every year. Their defense sucks in Miami.
Stream of the week defense. You've now destroyed my quarterback and my defense, Joe.
Oh, Ryan, when I made the graphic this morning, I'm like, really? And I listen.
Dude, he's been crushing it on defenses. I would not go against.
No,
Ryan
listen. I picked him up. because I had the Giants in there, which no way.
Yeah.
So I picked him up. I'm like, Patriots, here we go. Let's roll with them. Because Washington wasn't available. Josh, you also have Josh Jacobs as a downside, Tyler Lockett, and Jonnu Smith as well. Myself, I have Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, Robbie Anderson. This was me thinking that DJ Moore was not playing, so caveat. And Mike Gesicki again if he plays. Ryan, quickly, we've already talked about the Biscuit and the Patriots defense, and we've actually talked about all of them.
Yeah, I do want to just throw some stats out, Joe, because you made me dig into this. So just so everyone knows, Mitch Trubisky, I think he's going to have a great week, available everywhere, as is Jordan Reed, and I understand why Jordan Reed's available everywhere. Washington's defense, as we mentioned, is way tougher than what you expect. Dallas's is not, and I think Reed gets back on track this week, unless Kittle comes out, because that news popped just a few hours ago. Joe had me looking on the Patriots, and what's interesting is everyone knows how good the Patriots were last year. They are 52% available on Yahoo and ESPN. So as crazy as it sounds, they are legitimate stream candidate. They're the number 10 defense on the season. They've only had 5 good weeks, but 3 of those 5 good weeks were killing Drew Lock, no touchdowns, picked him off twice. Young quarterback. Killing Kyler Murray, no touchdowns, picked him off once. He was the QB 27 that week. And destroying Justin Herbert. They were the number 1 fantasy defense, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They put in work on young quarterbacks. Tua has no idea what he's walking into, and he's not going to have Myles Gaskin. He may not have Devontae Parker. He's unlikely to have Mike Gesicki.
However the fuck you pronounce it.
Could possibly have Ahmed, but I mean, how well Ahmed is going to return, that's going to be the biggest struggle there.
Yeah. It's shocking to me, first and foremost, that I was able to ever use the Patriots as a stream of the week defense. I could not believe that they are available in more than 50% of leagues. I usually, to make my life easier, make it where they only have to be available in 50% on one platform. They are literally sitting at 52% available on Yahoo and ESPN right now. If you need a defense this week, start the talent, start last year's best defense, start the Patriots.
So real quick, one more time. Who said sit Justin Herbert when he played against the Patriots?
Yeah, like I said, Joe, hey, you've made me better, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, buddy.
It's that hive mind mentality.
Exactly.
We're not always right as singular analysts.
Our lead writer, ladies and gentlemen, Joshua Hudson.
Words are hard.
Failed high school English.
Hey, it's okay. My chief editor, he's the same way. We start getting a little one too many, helping us, and that motherfucker, I'm like, bro.
It's been a long day, guys.
Don't edit no articles today.
Yeah, stay away from the articles.
My kicker of the week, I have Ryan Suckup. I'm only picking kickers that are indoors. It's that simple. That's my rule, kickers that are indoors. All right, blurred lines. Fuck the Jets. Very simple.
What happened?
What happened is...
I told you, man, large spreads, dude, they backfire, man.
Well, Josh, we're going for the largest spread this year.
And I would not...
I'm taking the Rams -17 at home against the Jets, because fuck the Jets.
I'm all on board with that. I fully see this game being 31-3.
Listen, Seattle's defense.
Watch this be the week that the freaking Rams forget how to play defense. Just watch.
Seattle's defense sucks.
Aaron Donald just lays on his back. Fuck it.
So, Robbie brings up a good point about Aaron Donald, though. If you think Aaron Donald didn't watch what Chase Young did last week, and I understand it's different opponents, but if you think Aaron Donald didn't see all the spotlight on Chase Young last week and is not angry about it, Aaron Donald is about to destroy Sam Darnold.
3 sacks, a forced fumble. Maybe he gets in the end zone. Oh, best defensive player in the league.
Reddick had 5.
Hey, for my IDP league, man, I got crazy. Aaron Donald. If that can happen, if Aaron Donald can have 3 sacks, one of them for a fumble recovery and a touchdown, bro, Joe, I'll be red-eyeing to you with a bottle of rum and some edibles, and we're going to get turned up.
I got your boys Deron Payne and Cameron Curl in my IDP league.
Bro,
so.
I got Jonathan Allen and Payne. Yep.
Yeah, love it.
Smart.
My literal reasoning is fuck the Jets. This is solely revenge. If you don't want to take this line because it's massive and I'm pissed off that the Jets laid a fucking egg last week and lost me money, Fine, don't listen to me. The Rams will kill them.
Real quick, do the analytics actually say that
Yes.
the Jets?
Yes, the Jets. So the Jets are 49% favored to cover, but the Rams are only 47% favored to cover. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Because, Robbie, real quick, to kind of explain, that's what the whole idea behind the blurred lines is to go with the film analysis versus the betting analytics side of it.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to ask, because I mean it's the Jets. Like I can't understand how the analytics would favor.
Yeah, so the Jets are about almost 50% favored to cover. The Rams are 47% favored to cover. So obviously the Rams are less.
Yeah, I see. I'm seeing that now.
Yeah, according to Pro Football Focus, both of them are less than 50% chance to cover, but obviously the Rams are less, so that counts. But if you look at the probability to win, the Rams have an 89.9% probability to win.
For FPI.
Compared to the Jets, 9. So I don't know how the spread is that close.
Because Vegas is drunk. Unlike the Rumboyz are drunk, but yeah.
Yeah, the Jets.
Shit.
Like, take the Rams. Like last week, if they just need to repeat last week. Because I'm sorry, as bad as the Patriots are on offense, their offense is 10 times better than the Jets' offense. Especially
what happened to Crowder? I mean, he shot out of a cannon the first 5-6 weeks, and then it's been
literally looked like he might be the best PPR wide receiver in fantasy football, and then gone.
Yep. And I can even say for you guys out there, definitely for that 43.5 over under, take that under, but still expect the Rams to pull them the fuck out the water.
Yeah. So here's what you do: smash the under, smash the team over for the Rams, and the team under for the Jets. That's what you do there.
They're winning you 4 bets right now, guys.
Whatever the over under is for Cam Akers rushing yards, because there's no way it's above 85. Take the over.
Yep.
I don't. If it's 103, which there's no way a rookie running back would be that high, take the over. Don't care. We talked about it last week's
the Derrick Henry trap.
Yeah, well, Chris Molina asked, do you like Derrick Henry over 108?
He even texted me, he's like, he got it in the first half.
Yeah, and I said on the broadcast, I'm like, Chris, do I think it's going to happen?
Go over.
Yeah, do I think it's going to happen? Yes. Is there a weird chance that Jacksonville shuts him down? Also, yes, because it's a division game. So I'm like,
exactly, yeah.
I'm like, you don't want to bet on that, because I bet on Dalvin Cook over 113, and it bit me in the ass one week. So I'm like, that's a line Vegas is begging you to take.
Yep.
Because you think it's an easy hit, so stay away.
Yep.
This line is Vegas is also begging you to take it. And
you're taking the bait.
And take it.
Yeah, take the bait. Take the bait.
Yeah. Oh, take the bait all day, every day. Take the bait. The Jets, and Robbie, my reasoning for picking the Jets last week is they've been 3-1 against the spread the last 4 weeks, not including last week. And Seattle had never covered a spread that was double digits. So I'm like, perfect recipe. Nope. Seattle finally put their contacts in and figured out that they were playing football. And the Jets, did the goddamn Jets.
Jets, yeah. Oh, dude, I feel you. That's why I won't play heavy underdogs, like games where there's a heavy underdog. Like I won't bet until this year. I didn't play any Dolphins games. I'll stay away from Jets. I'll stay away from Cincinnati. Giants.
Stay away from Arizona. They fucked me twice this year.
Yeah. Like teams that I don't necessarily feel super comfortable on. My best piece of advice for you guys out there is go with what you're comfortable in. If you look at a prop or you look at a line and your gut doesn't feel right before you hit that submit, don't play it.
Don't do it.
But if you're like, I can win some shit here and I know that this is going to go this way, that's where you play.
And that's all the research that's why I wanted to do this blurred lines. All the research in the world could point to someone covering a spread, to someone hitting the over. Doesn't matter. Numbers mean shit once the football is snapped. It means absolutely nothing. So, and I think it's. I mean, my record's 8-7-1, which is technically a winning record.
Yeah, you have.
You've been on a losing streak the last few weeks.
The last couple weeks have been on a losing streak. But again,
I think at one point you were 8-4-1.
I was 8-5-1 because I went on a 6-2 streak. And again, keep in mind all of those picks were against the analytics. So it's like, again, you could do all the research you want, you could line up all the analytics you want. It's all bullshit once that football's kicked off. It means nothing.
And you just want to hit when the season is all said and done. Let's say the only sport that you're playing is football, is NFL. Then you want to make sure that you end at least 55% overall rate better. That's a good conversion rate on your bet. That's a great conversion rate, and that's something that you can now start turning into. Okay, and if you could do that habitually, season over season, then you can start realizing, hey, let me take some time out and actually do this and actually pursue it. And maybe you actually might be good. But 55, that's where you want to sit.
Yeah, 55% is that line where you're making money or at least breaking even. 60% is where you're like, okay, people need to listen to my picks. That's the line right there. All right, that is everything, ladies and gentlemen.
Show.
What a great show for the fantasy
Robbie,
semifinals.
thank you so much.
Real quick, Joe, before you wrap up,
No,
Josh Jacobs already on Twitter is talking about because he does not care about fantasy owners, and he's already blocked Matthew Berry. So I'm telling you, a Bush.
I need to check my Twitter. Oh God, he might
Bush league fucking move, dude.
Talk to your boy, Robbie.
I know. I'm literally going to fucking check right now. I'm like, as soon as you just said that, I'm like, oh shit.
So do I have to honorarily drop Josh Jacobs now?
No, you're good. You're good. Oh, he's fine. I'm still good. He likes me.
Not blocked.
Matthew Berry, I don't know what you said or did, but
I know. I mean, he called it Matthew Berry has no problem calling out people or calling out players that call out fantasy owners. When you sit here and say hey, I don't give a fuck about your fantasy team or this and that, he's going to call you out, because more people play fantasy football because of the idea they watch.
More people watch football because of fantasy football.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. And it's just that's the whole idea behind it. Players like Austin Eckler or Keenan Allen that they embrace that.
Even Kenyon Drake. I know he's had a rough season, but I love what Kenyon Drake did this season.
You want to root for those guys. You don't want to root for guys that are well, fuck your fantasy team. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. I
ain't about that.
Yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. All right. That's everything, ladies and gents. So, Robbie, thanks for joining, man.
Thank you, Robbie. It's been great, man.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And you're about to go live a little later, correct?
Yeah, I'll be live the next 30 minutes, actually. Yep. Rumboyz Fantasy Network over on YouTube. Head over, subscribe. But first, subscribe to Club FFL over here. Gentlemen, I greatly appreciate you guys having me, and we're definitely going to get you on our show as well. So everyone that subscribes to Club Fantasy FFL, be sure to check out their upcoming feature here over on the Rumboyz Fantasy Network whenever you guys get the opportunity.
There you go.
Yeah.
Open invitation, brother. Anytime you want to hop on with us, you're welcome.
Hell yeah, brother.
Right there. There's the name Rumboyz with a Z Fantasy Network. Go subscribe to them over on YouTube. All right. The classic end of show thing. Saturday, start sit show, 11 a.m. Eastern, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Obviously, everything is based off of your questions for your lineup. That's what we're here to help you with. Second episode of the Speakeasy with Stepmom Lauren is up. Club Dynasty, latest episode with Shane and Jeremy from Dynasty Trades and Tommy Garrett from PFN is also on YouTube. And for week 16, we have the aforementioned Miss Stepmom Lauren Carpenter will be joining us for the second time.
Hey, my sis.
Yeah.
Was just at her house this weekend. I love that girl, man. She's great.
Yeah. Lauren Carpenter joining us for the second time this fantasy football season and probably for the 10th, 11th, 12th time in total. Yeah. You all know and love Lauren. And, of course, we have an awesome guest for you in week 17. So stay tuned for that at the end of next week's show. Trust me, you don't want to miss next week's show or week 17. It's going to be a lot of fun. For the one Hunsonian, the Fantasy 5, Robbie from Rumboyz at Rumboyz.net. That's Rumboyz with a Z. Don't forget. Myself, Joe _Zolo. You can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. Always remember, defense wins championships. Offense wins fantasy football. We will see you next week for Fantasy Football Championship Week with Lauren Carpenter from the Fantasy Footballers. And be sure to check out the Start Sit Saturday show, 11 a.m. Eastern, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope.